Hey guys, welcome back. If you haven't met me before, my name is Megan and I'm just really passionate about sharing my journey in business and creating confidence and really just finally going after my dream life. So today's video is going to be the Q&A that I posted on my stories the other day. I hopped on and basically said, ask me anything, as long as it won't embarrass my mom, I will answer it. And I'm really grateful because you guys came back with some incredible questions. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more and digging a little bit deeper, then just keep watching. Okay, so I really like this one. What's the biggest thing you've done to improve your body confidence? For me, I feel like the biggest shift that happened with my body and how I felt about my body was when I went vegan. And I'm no longer 100% vegan, but that was the first time in my life when I stopped looking at food in terms of whether it made me fat or skinny. It totally changed the relationship that I had with food. And it's hard because, in all honesty, I do feel more positive about my body now, and I am like quite significantly smaller than I have been at other times in my life. When I was like 19, 20, that was probably my biggest, and I was, you know, 32 pounds heavier than I am now. It's kind of a twofold thing. Like, I do think it's an internal thing, but at the same time, I think there is something to be said for working in a positive way and creating a really positive relationship with your body. What are you focused on achieving professionally and personally over the next year? I'm gonna combine that with another question, which is, what's your biggest business goal? My biggest business goal for 2020 is to make $100,000. It's very scary to say out loud into a camera, and that to me marks like major changes, game-changing moves on my part. Like, I know that I will have gone above and beyond anything I've ever done, and I've definitely been on track for going above and beyond anything I've ever done. On a personal level, I really just want to keep cultivating self-confidence and learning to be assertive and to know my worth and to demand that in everything that I do. I think that's a really difficult balance for me as a people pleaser and wanting everyone to like me, and then also now being in a position where if I don't fight for myself, nobody else is going to. Okay, so now we're up to the two questions that I was most nervous about answering. Kind of going to combine these two. One is, did you build a plan and strategy before you took the leap, or did you just pull the trigger? And the other question is, have you ever been fired? So have I ever been fired? I guess that depends on who you talk to, because my experience, yes, I was fired. I'll just kind of rewind and give you guys the story of how I ended up getting to the point of starting my business. So rewind to like 2018, I was an executive assistant, and the GM was a bit of a piece of work, to be totally honest. I was there for like 2 years, and a lot of kind of weirdness and inappropriateness. Kind of the final straw there was he came in and asked me to forge an invoice and doctor it to like be in our favor, I guess. And I said no, and that I was not comfortable with that, which was really difficult. I went to HR. They essentially said, like, we can have a sit-down conversation with him and talk about it. And that was kind of like the solution, which was not really a solution for me. Like, there was no way that he would have treated me fairly or well in any capacity, knowing that I'd gone to HR and now having this conversation. And he openly talked about the gentle art of persuasion when, you know, we didn't want an employee around anymore, and kind of how to get them to quit so they didn't have to fire them. Yeah, so I ended up on stress leave. Every single day that I woke up while I was on stress leave, I was just like, how am I ever gonna go back? Like, I can't go back to this job. It was the worst feeling. So while I was on stress leave, I got a message from a spa that I had done social media for in the past, and she was like, we just opened a new location. I need you. Like, I want you to come and manage it and do our social media and do all the marketing and like all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like, the universe is real, you know what I mean? Like, it was, the timing of it was just insane. And so I never did go back to my executive assistant position. And I shortly after that started with this spa, which I honestly thought was gonna be like my career. And by like 6 months in, it was pretty clear that they didn't need what I wanted to do. They weren't really ready for that, to have that be like a dedicated position. And I was at the point where that's not where I wanted to be. And I really wanted like a career path. So after a few months of kind of talking to them about it and trying to shift my role around, I ended up pitching to go back to a contract worker with them, which is what I did before. I offered to hire and train somebody for free to like help with this transition. And so I really went into it thinking I was coming with like a positive solution. They took it really personally, I think. And so the conversation didn't go well, and it was pretty clear that we weren't really going to come to an agreement. And at the end of the day, I was told, if you don't want to be here, you shouldn't be here. You have 2 weeks to find a new job. And so I took that as getting fired, because that was not like, my intention was not to leave that room without a job, or you know what I mean? Anyways, so to sum it up, no, I did not have a plan. I did not have a strategy for starting my business. Literally everything changed in like one 24-hour period, and I went from like having a job to the next day being completely incomeless. And yeah, that was the leap. And I wouldn't have chosen to do it that way, but honestly, I don't know if I ever would have taken like the leap in the same way had it not happened the way that it did. And so it's one of those crazy stories. That is all the questions for today. That was a long one. Hopefully this isn't too long. Hopefully you enjoyed learning a little bit more and getting to know me. I will see you all really soon. Bye guys.